Saidu Yuku is a header who has lived all his life in IBI local government area of Taraba State, northeast Nigeria. Saidu is worried about the stereotype and generalization of the headers farmers crisis, which he says is worrisome as the headers and farmers have coexisted peacefully in the years past without reports of these kinds of ugly incidences. This issue of farmers' headers crisis now, how come it never occurred in the olden days? The government should look into this. For me, I have noticed that the land is on the farmers. Nothing is done to support the headers. Concern on how to attain peaceful coexistence between headers and farmers in the communities. We took a trip to IBI local government area of Taraba State, where the headers farmers crisis has continued for several years. And to set the record on ground, a stakeholders meeting was put together with representatives of the youth, farmers, headers, women, and political groups who bared their minds on the header farmers crisis.
It's a long-time issue, and the government should do more about it. The crisis is still existing because most times problems occur when youths are involved. The headers too are also farmers, but most of the farmers are not headers. And if the headers could farm and leave their farm and now come to farmer and destroy his crops, there will be problem. So let government examine the problems and intervene.
Normally, it do happens when during rainy season, the farmers and the headers are on crisis between one place to one another. So because of the headers normally destroyed.
Tunda aka fara cewa za a turo ma masu gona kaza, a turo masu taki, a turo masu kaza, a'a su nemi za a turo masu kuɗi su tura VBN, ba mu taɓa jin Fulani an ce mashi.
They give farmers fertilizers, herbicides, money through BVN. They have never given anything to Fulanis to support their venture. If they will consider the farmers, why should they not consider the headers too? For instance, when you have two children and you show love to one, leaving the other one, there will be problem. And again, government should mark out the grazing routes to prevent the headers from passing through the farmlands and the main road so that this crisis can be curtailed. We are excited with your visit today to show us concern over this disturbing issue of the farmers' headers crisis in our area. These headers still invade our farms even before we harvest our crops. Their cows destroy our farm produce, and when we complain, they could attack and even kill the farmers. But we are grateful the peace committee set up by government has tried to restore peace within the city centers. But the attacks is still ongoing in the hinterland.
Amma har yanzu dai mu masu noma cikin nan ba halin mu yi noma wanda mu ji daɗi har mu girbi kayan mu.
The issue of farmers' crisis is not new to this area. It's something that happened for quite a long time. But due to the intervention of government, security, and other stakeholders in order to bring out the solution to that problem, as of now, I'm talking to you, the issue of farmers' crisis is no longer in existence. Only that there are some skirmishes here and there, I think.
A problem known is one half solved, they say. And so we went further to inquire how we can resolve the farmers' headers crisis in Nigeria.
I think the solution is that, like I rightly said, confining the animal, not only the cattle, all the animal in one place will help the farmers' header crisis. Like I said earlier, we have a local government, Taraba State, Southern local government, which in that area they confine the animal in one place. Okay. And they don't have that problem of farmers' headers crisis. The second one is grazing route. The government will be able to create that route for the cattle to move out the issue of farmer, headers farmer will not longer be in existence.
Where I think solution could come is when the federal and state government involve my youths directly into farming, because white collar jobs now is no longer for the poor. It's for the rich men and their children. So farming now has become a major threat for the common people. So monies that have been recovered from the looted funds or whatever source should be directed to farming, and youth should be engaged into it seriously. I have youth who are graduate and they are ready to farm. I'm a graduate too. We are good in farming. We have a very good fertile land in Idi. Both the Fulani youth and the whatever language, Tiv, Jukun, Hausa youth are always ready to go to farm because we have the land. The problem between herders and farmers is only God that will intervene. If you go across Serkin Kudu district now, we are managing situations here in Ibi metropolis. But if you go across here, they are very wild. The herders are very, very wild on farmers. We have documents to show.
How can we curtail that? How can we ensure that there is peace in those interlands you say this crisis?
Fine. Where there will be peace is government, state government should provide securities. Those people need enough securities to move around, to go to their farms, to sustain their lives. If not, there is no way.
The only solution is government quick intervention.
Through what means?
Through by providing grazing area and the cattle range. That will solve all these problems.
Let government take care of the herders just as it is taking care of the farmers. So much attention and incentives from those in authorities is focused on the farmers. Nothing is done to support the herders. Let the government bring more security personnel to help us curb this farmers-herders crisis, especially in the hinterland. And they should also involve the indigenous youth to lead them into those hinterland where these attacks still occur.
As it is today, we still have skirmishes of this problem between the farmers and herders, of which we are still working on that. Sometimes you see the farmers who go and put their farm on the cattle routes, grazing routes. And if the animals are crossing, even if it's after 10 years, they will still know that this has been our route, so we'll come and cross there. And that sometimes it becomes a problem with the farmers. And sometimes the herders, take the animals out and maybe allow animals to go and graze anyhow, and at the end of the day, they destroy farms. Sometimes they allow small children who are not up to the age of 18 or thereabout to control the animals. Somebody who is just 3-4 years, you give him a flock of animals to take to the bush. Of course, he cannot control them.
Sure.
Though by the time they get to the bush, they become problem to him. He cannot control them, so they will be going up and down destroying people's farm produce and the rest of them. So these are the issues we have. And sometimes when these things are mentioned, the farmer, like I'm a victim too.
Okay.
Sometimes
on the farmer's end,
yes,
or the header's end?
From the header's end. Okay. I'm a farmer myself.
Okay.
So sometimes last month, I was not around. I traveled for a meeting in Asaba. Then somebody called me and told me that they saw Fulani herdsmen on my farm with their animals just last month. Oh. And I called the village head there. I said, please get these people for me. So we got the people, we took them to the station, and they were made to pay some fines, at least to compensate me to the level of the destruction. The compensation should be measured with the destruction from ground. Yes, if not, sometimes if you take so much from them, you are also exposing others to the problem, to dangers. Now maybe just his farm, or maybe of this size, of this maybe 100 by 100, then somebody will just destroy it. Then you are asking me to pay you 500,000. Maybe the crops on the farm or whatever you have planted on the farm will not give you like 50,000 or 200,000. But you're asking the header to give you 500,000.
That's exploitation.
You are exploiting the headers, and at the end of the day, he's going to pay you back in another form. By attacking you. But sometimes when you are on the farm, you find him come around to come and ask for that. And by the time nobody is there to assist you. Before you know it, he will cut you into pieces. I know of this when in 2017, somebody that his farm was destroyed, there were these mediators between him and the farm and the herders. You know what happened? They collected about 300,000 from the herders, and the owners of the farm was given only 20,000.
That's the mediator now?
Yes, the mediator now. So 280,000 was taken away by the mediators, and the owners of the farm was just given 20,000. So the herdsmen were angry. At a point, they called him. They thought the money they gave was given to him.
To the farmer?
To the farmer. So they now called him one early morning that come and collect the remaining money that we have not paid. He thought that was the arrangement. So he quickly ran to the farm on his bike. On reaching the farm, he saw two herdsmen were standing with cutlasses. Before he could come down from the machine, he was already pieces by these people. They killed him there. And another issue is the police. Let me be frank here.
Okay.
The police and the judiciary. Sometimes they don't handle this kind of situation properly, and at the end of the day, it becomes another problem. Now, if, like I said before, if your farm is just this or that, you are collecting 200 naira, and somebody is collecting 500 naira on it, then it means you are exploiting the other person. Sure. So, if the police will make sure that this is an offense that has been committed, yes, then you take him to the next place, that is the judiciary, where the judge or whoever there is going to preside over and give punishment to whoever that is wrong. Then, if the two of them work together and do the right thing, so I want the judiciary, the police, and whoever is going to be a mediator in the situation that involves herders and farmers, there should be justice. And if there is justice, then I believe that no side will feel cheated and even think of taking revenge at the end of the day.
Still itching to drop a word, the youth leader of Ibi local government area, Sanusi Muhammad Fari, had this to say.
Anything that has to do with UN or United Nations, we have the belief there are some integrity that is attached to it. And I'm recommending that this is the third time United Nations are sending their representatives to us here. And we always welcome them, grant them interviews, possibly even documentaries. Youths, indigenous youth, should also be involved next time in managing this kind of problem, so that we'll give them detailed information and intelligence report. Since this is a United Nations program, those who have arms, United Nations should intervene, give us a margin debt, a kind of a money, provide monies that those people who have arms with them should be given a time limit to surveil their arms.
Surrender their arms.
To surrender their arms for some certain amount. Give them timeline, 2-3 months. That should be an United Nations program. They should give them money, recover the arms, because the proliferation of arms into this country is too much. All accusations are on Fulani headers. And sometimes you could not deny it because you see it clearly. We don't want somebody from Zamfara, a Fulani from Zamfara, to come and stay here that is coming to their house, because we don't know his intention. It's a troubled area. We want the traditional rulers and the government should domesticate our own headers.
Okay.
They should be domesticated. Our own headers should be domesticated.
So that you will know your neighbors.
We will know our neighbors.
Okay.
When a farmer, when Fulani or a header destroys somebody's farm, he say, no, it's Malawani, or it's Adikarim, or it's Alice for cows. So you don't need to start going here and there.
Looking for a stranger.
Looking for stranger.
Thank you so much. All said and done. Like Said Yuku, the heather, expressed in his views, it is hoped that the heather's farmers' crisis will soon be a thing of the past. This production was put together by Queen Iwuese Kunde for the United Nations Integrated Approach to Building Peace in Nigeria's Heather's Farmers Crisis Project. Thanks for watching.